put it in first, and it doesn't want to engage until you really rev it up. Once it's engaged though, it stays engaged. Everything's working? Everything's twerking. Check, check, 1, 2. Tubulators, welcome back. Gotta get away from that Prius. I don't feel right since that video. Let's get back on America stuff here. This is my son's 1993 Ford F1. Just got this going. He's had his license now for 2 weeks-ish. 3 weeks. He's been driving a little bit, but what's happening? Did I do a video on this truck? I don't think I did. We did the typical tune-up. I had to do a gas tank. Gas tank was leaking. Basically, this truck was sitting in a field, farmer's field, for like, I don't know how many years. You won't believe it looking at it, but this truck has 53,000 original miles on it. You see like there's that green stuff? Yeah, it sat in a field most of its life. And well, because of that, there's some rust underneath. Not so much, I don't think, from salt, even though you can see it's covered in salt. No, it's just from sitting in the field and moisture underneath, just attacking it all the time. So we had to do a gas tank. I sprayed the whole underbody with the fluid film black stuff. I think I did a video on that earlier. So we did that. Did inside of the doors and the rockers and inside the fenders and everything, just to get it all coated and sealed up, so it's like gonna stop the rust and preserve it. We did plugs, wires, cap, the whole spiel on it. It runs actually really, really nice, but it's starting to get an issue with the transmission. Reverse, everything works fine except from a dead stop, or especially like if you back up, you put it in drive and it first isn't there. You step on the gas, rev it up some, then all of a sudden it just hammers in a first, and then you go, and then it's fine until you stop at like a stop sign or a stop and go light again, and then it like drops out. It's acting like it's not, the fluid isn't getting to the drum, the close on the discs and gauge first. Once it shifts out of first, second, third, whatever, however many gears it has, it's fine. It's not an overdrive. So I think it's that E40D, not the AOD. I think it's that E40D transmission in this one. I actually don't even know yet. We got to figure it out. So I'm going to get into this transmission. I'm hoping like the 1-2 slide, that shuttle valve, is just getting stuck on something, so it's not sliding completely over to engage first gear. It's repetitive. It's the same. I mean, well, when we first got the truck, when we got the truck and we were driving it was completely fine. And then it almost overnight, like quickly one time, it just stopped doing that. And it started doing the deal where it didn't want to engage first unless you revved it up a lot. And then it didn't like slip slowly in the first, like it nailed first. So like, I know the clutches and stuff are good in the drum, because again, low miles and it seems fine once it's in. It's just, it's not getting the fluid to close up that drum, squeeze on the plates and engage first on its own. So I'm hoping, like I said, it's a valve or solenoid. Maybe the shift solenoid is sticking and not doing stuff. I don't know. So we're gonna pull the pan and poke around down in there and see what we see. Okay, let's see what we got underneath here. Well, one thing I know, we had to fill up the front diff. That was completely bone dry when we got the truck. And well, that's probably why. I don't know if you can see, but like everything is just coated with that black stuff, fluid film. I am really liking that stuff. What is this? This isn't an E04D, is it? Square pan. Is that a C6? 11, 12, 13, 14 bolt pan. And, well, no drain hole, so that sucks. Sucks a donkey. E40D, the pan is square, but it has like a little notch in the corner. And this one isn't. This one's pretty much square besides for like little angling on the back. It definitely reminds me of a C6, which I thought they were done with when they went to this style of truck, but maybe not. One of my toolboxes is gone because it's at the new place. New place? Yeah, I know. I promised you guys I would tell you stuff, and I still ain't telling you stuff. We'll get there. Don't worry. I'm just trying to figure out what the hell it is I'm trying to do around here. All the way. Get that ready. And then I think I want a drain plug right there. Okay, she's starting to slow down. I'm gonna start pulling bolts because we will be here forever waiting for that to get done. Holy cow, that's in there. Oh, that's gonna break. Dang niblets. Maybe I should be spraying some peanut butter on these suckers. Oh yeah, oh. Did I crack the socket? Oh my gosh, I cracked the frickin' socket. This is a 1/2-inch drive socket. Half-inch drive. Wow. Now what? That was the last 6 points I had. Black Hawk Hand Tools. Liddon Industrial Products. New Berlin, Connecticut. That's a good noise. That means it's coming out. Alright, what do we got? Nothing wrong with this transmission at all. Look how spotless that pan is. There's a little bit over on this side, just that black clutch material, but otherwise, I mean, it's just spotless. This plug is actually the plug from the factory that sits in the dipstick tube, and when they shove the dipstick tube in, they push it into the pan, and then the tube is in as they get it in the truck. So that tells you that nobody's been in this transmission ever, because anybody that's been in here taking that out. Transmission is like beautiful, spotless inside, excellent. I'm thinking what's sticking, and I got to go through and I got to do some reading to see which valves are exactly it. But there's these like shuttle valves, and they slide back and forth when you engage a gear. Like first gear it slides one way, and then second it slides the other way, and it sends fluid to drums in there, and then that fluid pushes on a plate that squeezes on the disc, on the clutch disc, and then that's what engages like the actual sun gear and everything that goes in there, and then stuff spins and magic happens, and then power comes out. So I'm thinking what's going on is one of these valves, shuttle valves or valves or thingies or something in here, is not able to slide all the way over to let fluid go into the drum 100%. I'm thinking it's like getting stuck, or there's something in it where it's like hitting and it's not letting that valve slide all the way over. So there's two up here. There again, like nothing on top of it, it's clean. So then up here, this is the whole brains of the transmission, valve body. And every one of these little channels you see, there's a spring and a shuttle valve and a stuff, and that's where all the magic stuff happens. That's the kickdown cable, so that's what goes up, the TV cable. That's what goes up to the throttle body, so when you're stepping on the gas, this pulls in here. Adjust pressures and reverse, neutral, drive. Oh, that was overdrive. Overdrive. There is overdrive in this transmission, that's right. Is this an AOD? Maybe this is an AOD. Yeah, that's not a C6, this is an AOD. Oh, stuff is coming to me now. I guess literally to do anything, I gotta drop the valve body. So we're gonna be dropping the valve body. Let's push the dipstick up out of the way there. Start pulling bolts. Oh, that felt right. I'll get this spring tab off of this thing here. What's that?
December 18th that you went to go get your Prius?
I don't know.
Because I have $154 in toll fees here from Illinois.
I think this is the last one. And then everything falls down and all the balls fall out and everything goes bad and stuff. And for sure gonna be a mess too. There's gonna be oil everywhere. Nope, there she's starting to come. Let's let all the oil up first. Let her drip for a while. Let her down. And I don't see any balls anywhere. Alright, I didn't trust it to stay, so I put a couple of bolts, short ones, in some strategic spots just to hold that gasket up while we're playing out the throttle body, or not throttle, valve body. Okay, we're here at the operating bench. I've got a couple of schematics on my phone. So this is the shift valve over here. When you actually like put it in park, neutral, drive, all that, this is what shifts. That's the main start of like where stuff goes in the tracks. This one right here is the 1-2. This is the one I'm really interested in. I don't know which way it has to go for 1, but I'm really interested in that one. Number 10 is the number 1 accumulator valve. That is this one right here. I'm also interested in that one. And number 11 is the number 1 gear capacity accumulator valve. So what I need to do is I got to pull this plate off so I can see like the tops of the valves. And then there's like little retaining clips that I got to slip out so I can pull the valve completely out. There's a valve and then a disc and then a spring, and there's all a bunch of stuff in there. So I got to get all these bolts off of here. Yeah, some kind of spring or something that kind of, it wanted to bounce up. So let's get that straight up out of there. Nothing underneath there. There's another gasket on the bottom of that. We'll just leave that alone. Put that off on the side. Plunger and a blue spring. Here's a plunger and a green spring. Is that the only one? There's got to be more. There's a little ball there, ball there, ball, ball. See, this is where, yeah, stuff you gotta just carefully. I need a little cup for balls. So if I just willy-nilly this. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I will never remember where those all go. Get so these things aren't just full of oil, so I can see what's going on. Throw another log on the fire. You don't want to use towels and stuff on this because one little fiber gets in stuff and it makes it stick and things happen. And then we're doing what we're doing. Get that spring out. There's that clip again. Halfway threading this. So there's the plug. That's what holds everything in that spring or that clip clips into. And then we can push this valve out. So here's the actual valve that slides back and forth depending on the pressure to shift the 1-2 shift. I don't see nothing obvious. And then I think there's a spring in there. Yep, spring is okay, it's not broke. Ideally what you would like to do is work these valves while they're in their bores so you can feel if they hang up or something. So this one and this one are the other two of interest here. Can't push that one. That one moves okay. This one might have a bigger spring behind it, that's why you can't. Well, ooh, that was definitely like, oh, there was definitely something wrong there. That might be it right here, whatever this was. I think this clip that's supposed to hold this plunger in was popped halfway out. And then, yeah, definitely. Yep. I think this might have been where the problem was. This was at the accumulator. Again, this clip that holds the plunger or the plug-in was like cocked over, and this plunger was like halfway out. There we go. Oh, there's an O-ring on there. Okay. And there's a big spring, which is okay. And there should be a valve in here. Valve is stuck in there. Nope. Huh. She's stuck in there. Well, now what? Must be a burr or something on that board. Oh, and she's kind of dirty in there too. Hopefully this is where all the issue is. Like on the very edge of the bore, I'm scraping around. So that's where that valve in there is getting hung up. There we go. Now she comes out. Was that plastic? So then that big spring rides in there. And that's where that plug was, like that. And then there should be another spring. Yep. That one also is not broke. Good condition. So that's what that valve looks like assembled. So it's got a spring on both sides, so it floats back and forth. Hopefully that was something. I don't know. We'll see. The other one that has to do with the 1-2 shift here is this one. One right next to it that's little. In here. So then this one, plug out. That came out nice. I don't know. There's this little valve that came out nicely. That wasn't stuck at all. And probably a spring behind that as well. There it goes. That spring is nice and good too. Not broke. Nothing weird in that one either. And the only thing I saw so far was that an accumulator valve was like kind of weird. Number 13 is a 2-to-1 scheduling valve. Low servo modulator valve. Functions are separated by a spring retaining plate. So that is this one right here. Yeah, that valve moves freely. And then, I mean, it's possible. I mean, I'm just dealing with everything that's for that first gear. So I'm going to remove this plate. It's just a little slot and a plate that goes down to retain the first spring deal in here. Spring. And a valve. Then there's a second spring and plate here. Another one of those little plates with a slot through it. And there's another spring. And there's that valve on the inner. Checking to make sure all these other valves move and do stuff. So yeah, I guess I'm just gonna clean up what I can clean up here, and we're just gonna hope that that one valve that was a little bit weird is gonna be cleaned up, and we'll make sure it slides and does stuff, and we're just gonna hope that's it. Okay, well, I got this all hosed out with the brake cleaner, what's left here, and blowing out. I blew it out really good with the air hose, brake cleaned it again, blew it out, brake clean hose. I just made sure I got all that like black stuff out of everywhere, just so hopefully if that was hanging up some other valve here, I don't think so, because these are all like 3-4 shift valves and other things, TV cable, TV channels and whatnot. I honestly don't know. I just know we're going for everything that said something about first gear in it. So yeah, we're just gonna go back, reassemble now, and clean up and do parts as we go. So we're gonna go in reverse order. That one that we just took out. I do have a little bit of 1500 here. just in case I find like there's a sharp edge on this valve. I'm just gonna spin her on there just a little bit. Now we'll brake clean that abrasive off. Blow it off. A little bit of the ATIF. And what was it? Was it like this? Yeah. And then a spring in the end, and then that last valve. And I'm gonna give all of these just a little rub with the 15 Hun, just to make sure there ain't nothing on those. Okay, now the big one. This is the one that I thought was the problem child. Stuff was kind of weird with it. So we got a spring on the inside, purple one. Sharp edges and stuff. We're gonna 1500 this one too. Still feels like a weird something on this inside edge here. Right, that feels better. Just so she's got some lube on her. Hopefully that just goes right in. Yeah, nice and plungy. Slips in that bore really nice. This has an O-ring on it. O-ring is okay-ish. All right, I found one. Here's the old one. Kind of some chunks coming off of it, so mazel. Put a new one on. Make a guy feel a little bit better anyhow that you're like doing something. Another thing about using like a 1500 or 2000 sandpaper is if there's like a tarnish on the surface that doesn't come off with a cleaner, a sandpaper, a really fine sandpaper like this will bring it off. And get that tarnish off, bring her back to nice clean metal. And no, I shouldn't be doing this right over the top of the valve body, but I'm trying to show you guys what I'm doing. This sandpaper deal like this, well, this comes from me doing, it's called spool valves, I think, and injectors, like the diesel injectors. They get a thing called stiction, and that's because it builds up like a film on the surface, and then it starts sticking in the bores of the lifters, or not lifters, injectors, the fuel injectors and diesels, and then that's what you get, they call stiction. So this goes in this way. Which one? This one. Nice and gently, make sure you're not. Oh, that slides real nice. Okay. Valve body rebuilt. And yeah, shift kit put in, all that stuff. So this should be all good now, hopefully. Yep. Nope. Didn't do nothing. I'm just hoping that there was like a chunk of something, or like an accumulative of like that clutch material, or just something was going on. Like I said, this accumulator valve felt weird and was kind of strange coming out, and it was stuck in there, and you guys saw like there was burrs and whatnot. It slipped right back in after we cleaned everything up and deburred stuff. So I'm just hoping that we caught some kind of grime or something that was causing one of these valves not to shuttle, move, do things like it's supposed to. And now that it's all cleaned out and everything is good, that I'm just hoping it's gonna be, it'll be okay. Green on the right. Right? You guys tell me right now if this is wrong, because I'm kind of dyslexic. Is there a hole in there? No, that's just a plunger. Black ball. Black ball. Black ball. Black ball. Black ball. Black ball. And what used to be kind of an orange ball. That's the biggest one. That's the only one that's different. Is that how it was? Must be. I think it was like that. You should only like line up and go on one way. Yeah, like that. Same thing, this one should only line up these bolts one way. just like that. Make sure this plate's lined up as good as possible here. What are you talking about? That's torqued to spec. Yup, torqued to spec. All right, now we just go throw her back in. All right, I pulled my retaining bolts out that were holding that gasket up, and the gasket didn't fall down yet. So let's just hurry up and get this valve body up there before everything goes to hell and stuff falls down. So we want this to be able to float around just a little bit yet until we got all the bolts in. And then once you got all the bolts in, now you can go around and start snugging them up. So, funny story, all my torque wrenches are in my other box. That's not here. So, anywho, torque spec for these is 75? 80 to 100 inch-pounds. That is almost 10 foot-pounds. 100 inch-pounds is obviously just under 10 foot-pounds. It's like 8. Like 8 foot-pounds. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go all willy-nilly here and just go off of feel. Like I'm just gonna like try and feel it out and make sure, or try and make like every one of them feel the same. Whatever I figure 8 foot-pounds is, and we're just gonna say that's good. Yep. Okay. So start in the middle here. We're gonna say that, phone frickin' ringing. So just to double check now, instead of jumping around from the center out, I'm just gonna go across in rows from back to front. All right, that's all torqued down. I'm pretty sure, yep. Executive decision, we're going to reuse the gas or the filter because it looks, can you guys even see in there? It's perfect. Yeah, everything is good there. Okay, surface all cleaned up for the new gasket that we don't have. Pan cleaned up. We get this gasket on the pan cleaned up. And we're just going to smear a little stuff on there and brake clean the stuff, and we'll throw her together. Look how clean that is. There's just ever so slightly a little bit of residue. Oh yeah, I got to weld a bolt in the bottom for a drain plug. All right, we got a drain plug welded in here. It's obviously galvanized. Don't worry, I'll just drink some milk. It'll be fine. Clay over here is going to clean it up and give it a paint job, and we'll goop some stuff on there and throw her back in. Hopefully it'll work. We'll find out. All right, ready to put the pan on. Clay got our new drain plug all cleaned up and painted so that won't rust. That's just a 17mm bolt and nut with a, well, it was a nylon washer in there for sealer. And then, well, if any of you watched my channel before, you know that this gasket is brand new now. Yep, ready to go. Pan is clean. This is just copper spray for you new guys. So you want to reuse the gasket, clean her up, throw some copper spray on her, and she's good, brand new. Oh, let's get this up, huh? And get a couple of these bolts started, wherever they are. Careful, you don't touch pan gasket to anything before you get her. All right, now. Paint is just whatever we had around just to cover up where we welded so it won't rust. Clay also went around and chased all the threads on these bolts, so they're like brand new too. And then chased the threads in the tranny, so those are brand new. Everything is brand new, so it's got to work, right, Clay?
Yeah.
And I know this looks like it hangs down really low, but it's not. It's above the catalytic converter, the front pumpkin, the cross member, the rear end. So we ain't got to worry about knocking off that bolt. And if you do, you know you knocked it off in like 3 miles anyhow, when all the transmission fluid comes out and the vehicle stops going down the road. Oh, there goes everything. You be good transmission, okay? All right, Clay just dumped in the first gallon. By what came out, I am guessing that we got like 1.5 gallons to almost 2 gallons out of the transmission. Torque converter is still filled completely up-ish. Maybe, I don't know, it was pouring out the entire time I was sitting up on the lift. So we're gonna start out with the gallon. I'm gonna start it, run it, go through the gears and let it run a little bit, and then we'll come and check it and see how low it is and then top it off from there. But yeah, we're here to give her a try anyhow. Just run and park for a little bit so that pump can pick up the fluid. Like I said, the converter is full, so really it shouldn't take too long for it to purge through. Then I'm gonna put it in reverse, and I'm not gonna hold my foot on the brake, so I'm not holding it back. I'm just gonna let it free roll. Neutral, idling up because it's cold. Okay, here's drive. Drive. All right, oh yeah, add more fluid, I think. Let's take a look. Yeah, nothing on the stick. Still not on the stick. Might have to get more fluid. All right, 7 quarts, so we got something on the stick. And it is cold yet, so we can't go completely full until we warm up the transmission and everything. Okay, it's just touching the bottom of the stick now. You got to go through all the gears and make sure all the drums, all the channels, everything is filled up with fluid to get a correct reading. So there's reverse. That works. Neutral. Drive. There's first. First is working, at least on the lift. I'm gonna rev it up a little bit so it goes through like second. There's second, there's third. There's overdrive. All right, we're in neutral. There's drive. I don't know. Well, we got news. As you saw, we had it up on the lift, up and down, and I was still having problems. And I think I got it. Okay, so let's instant reverse. Goes in reverse. Forward. Right away. Engagement. What was it, you ask? Well, I don't know if it's the actual fix or if it's just a band-aid, but the TV cable, the cable that goes from the throttle body down to the transmission, so the transmission knows where your throttle is for kick down and just overall line pressure. It was, I don't know if it was like pulled like through, there's like a little clip on the top, you pull it up and you're able to adjust the cable and then push the clip down and it locks it in place. I don't know if somehow, because this truck worked fine before. When we first got it, you put it in gear, it was fine. And then, like I said, like at some point, it stopped doing that. And then it wasn't going in the first gear when you shift it. Once it was in, it was fine. It was locked in, it was fine. But it was not going in, like we said. I don't know if at some point, like that cable was stiff from it sitting all those years. And like, I don't know if my son was like chomping on it or something. And just that cable was stiff, like it pulled it back out or back in. Like it adjusted it itself, like through, because it's just plastic, like teeth and stuff, and you push that clip down and it's just locking into plastic. I don't know if it like slipped, kind of like a zip tie, like bzzzt, and then it was out of adjustment, and then that's what the whole problem was this entire time. Or what I'm saying about a band-aid is me adjusting that TV cable back out is just raising line pressure in the transmission, and maybe just that is like overcoming seals and stuff that are leaking in the transmission, and then that's what's helping it engage. I don't know exactly yet, but I adjusted it, and yeah, we'll go for a ride here quick and you'll see like it shifts fine. It's not like it's like revving up super high before it shifts, and it's not shifting hard like you're like wide open throttle and it's like really winding out and then it's like bang in the next gear and bang in the next gear. Like it's shifting okay at part throttle. So I just think maybe possibly, like I said, that cable, that I've seen that before, where a cable just gets pulled through its adjustment. I don't know, but yeah, let's go for a quick cruise down the road here and I'll show you guys like that it's stuff is doing stuff. All right, we're backing up, and look at instant, right in the gear. And yeah, I mean, to do the TV cable adjustment properly, you're supposed to set up a gauge and watch line pressure and adjust it, but we're not like that here. So yeah, here we go. Part throttle, second gear. That was at like 23 miles an hour. Yeah, maybe a little high on. I did give it a. Yeah, I did give it a second adjustment just now, and I maybe have went like a little bit too far. The first time I had it adjusted, it was like perfect. I maybe went a little aggressive with it now, but from what I read is the only real way you can burn up a transmission with a bad TV adjustment is if you have it too soft. So there's not enough line pressure, it's not closing the clutch packs good enough, and you're actually burning them up instead of like stuff. So I wanted to go a little bit heavier on the heavy side because I know that'll be safer for the transmission. Raises the shift points and stuff, but so here, decelerating, it should, there, went to second. And then if we do a stop, shifts to first gear, and it's right there. If I'm a little bit heavier on the gas, then what? That still shifts around 25. $45, that's about right, right? If you're like half throttle-ish. Maybe I will leave it there for now. That doesn't seem too bad. Boy, if that was like the actual fix, I must be so happy, because I did not. I got enough money invested in this truck, and I feel bad for my son. He's like, he wants to drive this truck and enjoy it, and it's been giving him a couple of problems, and these are like just. It's an annoying issue with the transmission not engaging first gear. He's at school, he's in a parking lot, and kids are laughing at him. Okay, so let me try another just part throttle and see if it shifts like a normal. So driving like a grandpa. Nope, does it shift at 20 miles an hour? I feel it should shift about here. Right here. Right here. Yeah, that was about right. I did let off the gas a little bit to get it to shift, but I think that's okay. It might, like I said, it might be a little bit heavy, a little on the heavy side of the TV cable adjustment, but that is safer than being on the light side. You don't want to burn up the transmission. And how you do it is having it too light on the TV cable. Like I said, it doesn't have enough line pressure. You'll burn up clutches that way. Heavy side, well, you just get higher shifts, and you know, it thinks you're like heavier on the throttle than what you actually are. So what if I am kind of heavy on it? Let's go. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it. I think that'll be good for now. It engages first gear really good. That's what I wanted. That was the biggest issue, is it wasn't going into first gear when you shifted in the drive. So I think we're gonna call this one fixed for now until it gives us problems again. The reverse. Reverse has always been instant. That's why I kind of like, reverse uses all the drums in the transmission, and if the drums are bad and the seals are bad and everything is bad, reverse would be the one that would show you issues. The reverse is always the first one to go out in the AOD, because like I said, it uses everything in the transmission. So if you got a problem with the drum or worn clutches or something, reverse will show up right away. And yeah, it goes into reverse instantly. So I knew it's not like a mechanical transmission problem. Plus you saw the pan and the fluid, it's all clean. So first, oh, she's a little spicy going in here. I might back off on her a little bit. Reverse. Yeah, she's a little, I'm gonna back off on her just a little bit. That everything is just a little bit on the spicy side. Okay, so pull the throttle cover off, and right here, this is a TV cable that hooks up right through here to the throttle body. So when you give it gas, it pulls on this cable. That's the cable that goes onto the transmission. And the adjustment, I'm trying to do this one-handed, is this little plastic clip right here. Pull up on this clip, and then you can see like that moves in there. And well, I don't know where I was now. We'll try that right there. And then you just push that clip back down. So that's why I'm thinking, like, if that cable was kind of stiff before from sitting and he was horsing on it, it may have pulled that through there just a little bit and then messed up. I don't know. I don't know where my adjustment is now. I gotta see. Reverse. And now it's taking a little while again. Yep. I gotta go a little bit more. Lift that up. Oh! And pull back on that a little. Try that. Reverse, obviously. There's first. Okay, I think that was pretty good. So we're in park. Put her in first. Yeah, I think that's good. That feels like a nice shift in the drive. I think I'm gonna leave it right there for now. That's gonna be it. So, yeah. There's reverse. I'll put it in forward. Clay, where are you going? Clay. What are you doing? You gotta go to work?
Oh, not today.
Oh, you're just gonna drive around?
Sure.
Give me my garage door opener. Okay. Yeah, go try it out. Yeah. We'll do reverse and forward again a couple of times here. Excellent. Oh my gosh. Fixed for no dollars. Well, at least we got the transmission fluid changed. Yeah, so that's done. All right, go drive around a little bit, have some fun. Don't hit no cars. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Please hit that like and subscribe for more just stupid stuff like this. Have a good night, morning, evening, whatever it is. America. See if he's gonna get on or. Nice shift. Awesome.